Hi guys, it's Charles here with Charles Harrison Music. I thought today I would start a new series of videos that encompasses everything that I generally talk about in these YouTube channel videos. And I thought I'd start by showing you how I analyse jazz standards. Today I'm going to start with Stella By Starlight, which is one of my favourites. Any comments or questions about anything I go through today, please leave them down below, and whichever standard I analyse next, I'll answer those questions and apply them to that, because standards generally follow similar formulas. The point of analysing a jazz standard is plentiful, manyfold, whatever the word is. It can make you a better improviser, it can make you a better rhythm player, it can just make the tune more interesting, but the general way that I describe it to students is that it simplifies understanding of the piece. Rather than thinking of every single chord as an individual challenge, it sort of blends different chords together into what we call key centres. So rather than having 100 chords and 100 things to think about, very often you can condense all of that down into 3 scales, which is a far easier, far more freeing way of thinking about it. Anyway, make sure you can see a version of the chords. Here's the chords that I'm going to be using today. Let's get started. So the most important thing in order to be able to play Stella By Starlight is the minor 2-5-1. Now, I'm going to explain everything from scratch, so please don't feel patronised if you already know what a minor 2-5-1 is. Obviously, not everyone watching will know. What we're looking for a minor 2-5-1 is a minor 7 flat 5 chord, sometimes called half diminished, followed by a 7 flat 9 chord, or some similarly altered dominant chord. So the very first 2 chords of Stella By Starlight, we have a minor 7 flat 5, followed by a A7 flat 9. So we've got E minor 7 flat 5, that's my go-to voicing for that, 7-8, 7-8. I'll get into other voicings in a minute. A7, the flat 9 on the top, or the flat 9 at the bottom. Okay. Now, to work out which scale you're going to be using, whatever the minor 7 flat 5 chord's root is, a tone below that is the root of our harmonic minor scale, which is the scale that you need to use over a minor 7 2-5-1. Over a minor 2-5-1, sorry. So we've got E minor 7 flat 5, so a tone below E is D. So we're going to be D harmonic minor. I've done a video on how to learn your most important scales. I also did a series of videos called Which Scale Over Which Chord. So please do go and check those out. I'll maybe do something up here regarding those. So the first 2 chords, E minor 7 flat 5, A7 flat 9, can be tackled most appropriately with D harmonic minor. So I'm just going to go through the whole tune telling you the theoretically correct scale for each chord progression, and then I'll give you some sort of alternative flavours, because just because D harmonic minor is the correct scale theoretically doesn't mean it's the only scale we can use. Next up, we've got C minor 7 to F7. Now, what we've got here is a 2-5. So if it's just your bog standard minor 7 to a bog standard 7, you can be assured that it's just from the major scale, 99 times out of 100. So again, whatever the first chord is, we go a tone below that, C becomes B flat. So I'm going to be using B flat major over those 2 chords. Okay. So far we've got D harmonic minor to B flat major. Then we've got something that I term minorization. I don't know whether that's a real word or not, but F7 becomes F minor 7, so it's become minorized. Now, generally, when you see that, it happens in a lot of tunes. It happens in There Will Never Be Another You, it happens in How High the Moon, we'll get to all these tunes. Generally, when that happens, again, we're just dealing with generalizations here, not every single instance, but generally it's become a 2. When a dominant chord gets minorized, it's now a 2. So we've got F minor 7 to B flat 7. So yes, we do have a 2 to a 5. So if F is 2, E flat is 1. So over F minor 7 and B flat 7, we can play E flat major. Okay. So that's, and then we've got an E flat major chord next. So of course we would keep that going. So we've done the first 7 bars. That would be D harmonic minor, B flat major, to E flat major. Okay. Next up, we've got an A flat 7 chord. Now, I really always think of this as an A flat 7 sharp 11, which does appear later in the tune. But A flat 7. Now, the key signature of this piece tells us that we're in the key of B flat. So whenever you have a flattened 7th chord, okay, so in the key of B flat, we'd have an A natural as the 7th note. Well, this is an A flat, so it's a flattened 7th. Whenever you have a dominant flattened 7th, you can treat it using the melodic minor built on its root, on its 5th. So A flat's 5th is E flat, so E flat melodic minor. All of that over an A7, A flat 7 sharp 11. And then we've returned to a B flat major next, B flat major 7. Okay, so far we've got first 2 chords are D harmonic minor to a B flat on C minor 7 and F7, to E flat on F minor 7, B flat 7 and E flat major 7, to A flat 7, which will be E flat melodic minor. Remember guys, to be a really competent jazz player, you only need major, harmonic minor and melodic minor. There's plenty of other scales that are nice to know, but those are the only ones that you need. You're going to struggle to play without. Although there's lots of brilliant players who don't use all those scales. But you know, if we're wanting to study this, then just get those 3 scales learned. It just makes life so much easier. Okay, next up in bar, we're on bar 10 now. Bar 10, we've got E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9 again. Well, remember, whenever you see a minor 7 flat 5, especially if it's followed by a flat 9, you can almost put all your money on it being a minor 2-5. I'm being careful not to say 2-5-1 in this tune, because actually in this tune, the whole catch of it is the ones very rarely actually come. So when you do get a 2-5 and it's followed by its own 1, it's really quite satisfying. They've really delayed doing that in this piece to keep you on the edge of toes, like, oh, here comes 1. Oh no, I've changed to a different key. And it keeps the listener interested. The piece never quite settles until the very, very end. So yes, we've got E minor 7 flat 5, A7 flat 9 again. This time we do get the 1, D minor 7. So the 2 and the 5 are going to be D harmonic minor with the C sharp and the B flat. The D minor 7, you're going to want to use a C natural in that. You can use the C sharp as a passing note still. Then out of nowhere we get a B flat minor 7 to an E flat 7. Well, that's a 2-5. If B flat is 2, A flat is 1. To F major, out of nowhere. Now F major 7, you play either F major or F Lydian. There's no context to that chord, it's come out of the blue. So the listener's not expecting major and they're not expecting Lydian, they're just the notes of that chord. So you can add the raised 4th in there if you want, or you can just stick to F major. Another minor 2-5-1, E minor 7 flat 5, A7 flat 9. Then A minor 7 flat 5. Okay, well we've got the hang of this by now. If we've got minor 7 flat 5s, that's going to be a 2. So if A is 2, G is 1. So we're going to be in G harmonic minor. Then for the D7 flat 9, we're still in that key. Next up, G7 sharp 5. Now, you could just play a what would be called a Mixolydian sharp 5. Okay, so you can just play G7. But that's a bit of a weird scale, okay? So what you can, a scale that everyone will be comfortable with is the whole tone scale. Okay, that's got the sharp 5 in it. Or the altered scale. Now you may be saying, oh, but you said that we only need majors, melodic minors and harmonic minors. The whole tone scale does break that rule, admittedly. However, the altered scale, really it's just the melodic minor scale a semitone up. So G altered is A flat melodic minor. Okay. To C minor 7. Just C minor ideas there, or E flat major ideas, however you want to think about it. I'm talking natural minor here, so the natural minor is just a mode of the major scale. Sometimes I put the Dorian note in there as well, which is the major sixth. A flat 7 sharp 11 in bar, whatever bar we're on now, bar, I've lost count, 16, 20, 16, 20, 21 maybe? Can't even count, bar 21 I think. A flat 7 sharp 11. Well, that's still going to be E flat melodic minor. And straight to B flat major. So again, just B flat major over a B flat major chord. You can have the Lydian note in there if you want. Finally, last 8 bars, we've got just a series of minor 7 flat 5s, which tells us that we've got a series of descending harmonic minor scales. And the 1 does arrive in these scales. We do get E, A, D, but the D has been minorized, or minor 7 flat 5-arized in this case. So we've got E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9. Well, we know that's going to be D harmonic minor. We've done that enough times today. D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 flat 9. It's going to be C harmonic minor. C minor 7 flat 5, F7 flat 9 is going to be B flat harmonic minor, and then we get B flat major, finally, to settle at the end. Okay, so hopefully you've got the basic theory down there. Let me just quickly summarize everything I've gone through there. Minor 7 flat 5 followed by a 7 flat 9, whatever the root of the minor 7 chord is. A tone below that is your harmonic minor scale. So E minor 7 flat 5, D harmonic minor scale. A minor 7 flat 5, the G harmonic minor scale. D minor 7 flat 5, the C harmonic minor flat scale. Sorry, C harmonic minor scale. And the C minor 7 flat 5 would be the B flat harmonic minor scale. If you get a major 7 chord followed by following a 2-5, then it's still included in the 2-5. If you get minor 7 followed by a 7, that's a 2-5 in a major key most of the time. You get used to seeing these on the page, guys, but I know when you don't even know what you're looking for at first, it's very confusing. And any unexplained chords that just appear out of the blue, you can treat those with a bit more flavour. So you can, if you just got an out of the blue major 7 chord, you can treat it as a major or as a Lydian. Final little thing I mentioned in this was if you have a flattened 7th chord, a dominant chord built on the flattened 7th, it's going to be the 4th mode of the melodic minor scale. Technically we call that the Lydian dominant, but you don't need to know mode names, guys. Just learn your 3 major scales, and you'll accidentally learn the mode names as you go along. Don't spend loads of time trying to learn those. That's not a good use of your practice time. And yes, if you've got an augmented chord, a sharp 5 chord, the whole tone scale or the altered scale are lovely over it. Okay, so what about some alternatives then? Well, I'll just very quickly go through a few alternative scales for these chords, because I'm aware that that's 15 minutes of rambling already. Well done if you're still with me. E minor 7 flat 5, or any minor 7 flat 5 chord. Although we know, having analysed this tune now, that it's a 2-5-1, when a listener hears a chord, they're not immediately thinking, oh, that's the 2 of a 5-1, because they can't tell the future. Now, I did say that 99 times out of 100 a minor 7 flat 5 is part of a 2-5-1. There are tunes off the top of my head, and the first one that comes to mind is Inner Urge. Starts on an F sharp minor 7 flat 5 and then goes to F major 7 sharp 11. So that isn't a 2. Therefore, these chords, when you first hear them as a listener, you're not sure where they're going. The point of that, you can take advantage of as a player, is you can play any scale that includes a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So there's 2 in the melodic minor. There's one built on the 6th and one built on the 7th. So I could play, again, the altered scale. Okay, which is F melodic minor. Or the one that I prefer is the G melodic minor. Okay. Now these work especially well, guys, if you're in more of a trio scenario, because of course if the piano player is interpreting it as D harmonic minor and you're interpreting it as G melodic minor, you can have lots of semitone clashes. But at the basis, just giving you an E, you can play G melodic minor voicings. Okay, you've got some really nice voicings in there that you can take advantage of. Those can be used on melodic minor. The melodic minor can be used on minor 7 2-5 chords. It also appears as the 7th mode of the major scale, so you can just play F major over E minor 7 flat 5. Okay. Finally, it also appears in the harmonic major. So, although I said there's only 3 scales you need to learn, the harmonic major is a nice one to learn, but that should be left to last. It's not that common a scale. The harmonic major has a minor 2, has a minor 7 flat 5 on the 2, and it has a flat 9 chord on the 5. Okay, which means although we're so used to hearing it go to a minor 1, we can actually go to a major 1. So that's not too weird a sound. Therefore, again, the listener can't tell the future. Now, of course, most listeners know this tune, but that's not really the point. So you can play minor 7 flat 5 as D harmonic major. which basically just means putting an F sharp in it instead of an F natural. Sorry, I've gone into minor again. Okay. Any other fun ones? Another trick for major 2-5-1s, when you're on a C minor 7 flat 5 to an F7 in this instance. Oh, I keep saying flat 5, sorry guys, too many flat 5s in this tune. C minor 7, F7, okay? A 2-5 doesn't really exist, okay? A 2-5 is just 2 bars of 5, really, with a bass note movement. So let me demonstrate this by just playing. Now there's not really anything missing there apart from the bass note, so I'll put the 2 back in. Taking it out again. So I'm just swapping the 2 for another bar of 5. Now, therefore, as we know, especially again in a more trio scenario when you can be a little bit more liberal with your chords, we can alter any chord we want. Okay, we can alter a F7 in this instance. We could play the Tritone Substitution, which would be B7 sharp 11 in this instance. Now, therefore, over the 2 chord, we can play those same alterations. So that, in this instance, would look like G flat melodic minor. So you can play G flat melodic minor over C minor 7 and F7. Okay, I've added a few passing notes in there, but here you can still hear a 2-5-1 there, going to B flat, even though I'm using a G flat melodic minor in that instance. Sorry, going to the B flat. Final thing I'll show you in Stella, guys, is how to get through the last 8 bars. Okay, so we've got this progression here. Okay, so that's the standard way of playing over it, just using the harmonic minor scales. But something that's worth noticing about these voicings, again, it doesn't really matter. Here's a couple of different minor 7 voicings. I keep using this one today just because that's, I think, the most recognisable. We can add the 4th on the top. That's nice. We can add, we can have B flat on the low E string. Remember, I'm on a 7 string here, guys. This is an extra low B string. So this, my 2nd string is your lowest string. Fret 6 there, with so 6, then skip the A string, D string, 5, 7, 5, or I can go 5, 7, 6. Okay, but we can do tritone substitutions. So I can go E flat 7 instead of A7. So I end up with this on the A string 7 8 7, just descending correctly. I'll sing the tune. Da ba da 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 da. Not on the last chord, my mistake. B flat major 7. I like to add sharp 11 on the last one. You get this very sort of monk, as in Thelonious Monk, sound. We can add the 11 on the top of that as well. And you can use those same shapes for improvising. So roughly, it's going to sound a bit over the top, but I'll just use those shapes for improvising. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and finally, what else do I like to do in this tune? Oh, one last shape I'll show you, and then we're at 30 minutes, which I think is more than enough of me talking. There's a nice symmetrical shape you can play over A flat 7 sharp 11, or any 7 sharp 11, sort of pentatonic style shape. Sorry, my mistake. There's a couple of ideas there. So we can go 4 6 5 4 6 5 4 6 4 6. 4 6 5 4 6 5. This is sort of Tim Miller style stuff. Okay, or 4 6 5 4 6 3 7. Okay, so that idea there was 4 6 5 4 6 3 7 4 6 4 6. Okay, so these are not pre-learned patterns, you know, I'm sort of just seeing these. I find it really difficult to just stick to something very rigid without adding in extra notes or without going wrong. I'm sure we all do. I suppose I should work on that. Anyway, there's my thoughts on Stella by Starlight. So hope you found some of that useful, guys. Congratulations if you managed to sit and listen to me rabbiting on for 30 minutes. Comment down below any questions and I'll address them in the next video. Let me know what tune you'd like me to do next. If there's any tunes you'd like analysed. Let me know if I went in depth enough, if you want me to go more in depth, if it was too surface level, anything like that. That's all cool. Anyway, without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.